Good evening, everyone. I come here to ask a very important question. When is the happiest birthday? Now, I think we can all agree that some dates are particularly bad for a birthday. December 25th, of course, Christmas, far too much competition going on. February 29th, Leap Day, only comes once every 4 years. And perhaps worst of all, April 31st, a date that doesn't even exist. But if there are particularly bad days, might that suggest that there are particularly good days for a birthday? Might it even suggest there is a best day? After a couple minutes of half-hearted research, I believe I have an answer for you. But first, let's define our goals. A happy birthday. What makes us happy, and what's a good birthday? Well, science tells us that there are 4 things that consistently make people happy: close relationships, fulfilling work, generosity, and self-reflection. As for a good birthday, I think you're looking on a monopoly on time and attention. This is a selfish holiday. This is a day for you. We don't want anything else getting in the way. I want you to remember these things that make us happy, but for now we're gonna focus on this good birth date, because I think we can immediately rule out a couple of options. Here's a calendar of the year. Some dates are obviously bad, we've X'd those out. Others are questionable, we've shaded those in red. We're not gonna go into too much depth here, but just to briefly cover some things, pretty much everything from Thanksgiving to like a week after New Year's is a fucking mess. Absolutely not. You got Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas, Hanukkah's taking up 8 nights somewhere in the middle there. Everyone's trying to schedule holiday parties at times that won't conflict with other people, but they still schedule the same weekend anyway. Bullshit time for a birthday, we're just going to ignore it. Also a bullshit time for a birthday, September and August. These are the 2 most popular birth months in America. I say America because, of course, I'm assuming this is an American birthday because as an American, I forget other countries exist. Now, we're also going to try to avoid holidays with any sort of restraint or atonement, things like Lent and Yom Kippur. We're also going to try to avoid holidays where people already have plans, even things like Halloween, which actually they've found that there are fewer C-sections on Halloween, implying that people are actively trying to avoid giving birth on Halloween. So we're taking that out of the equation too. Perhaps controversially, we're going to try to avoid spring break and summer, or any months that could include those. And for that, we go to our next slide here. This is a graph that shows the enthusiasm for your birthday over time. Now, setting aside for a moment that I've pulled this straight from my ass, you can clearly see that the graph shows enthusiasm peaks around the school years before plummeting around your 30s and eventually getting into the negatives. With this in mind, we have to preferentially weight those birthdays that are in the school year. And that means that a summer birthday is just a less happy birthday because you can't force your classmates to shower you with love and attention. So, what do we have left? We got a little span here in January, basically the entire month of May, a little bit in October, and a thin sliver in November. But how are we going to narrow our search from here? For that, I have to ask you another question. Imagine you're a teacher. You have 12 students, each one with a birthday in a different month of the year. Which one might you expect to be the best student? Which one might you expect to be the best athlete? You might say, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. And you might be wrong, thanks to something called the relative age effect. And what this basically says is that students who are born in September are more likely to overperform, and students who are born in January are more likely to be better athletes. Why is this? It's because those are close to the administrative cutoff dates, the school year and the calendar year. That gives them a small advantage. And that small advantage, due to something called the Matthew effect, begets more advantages, which creates higher expectations, which creates even higher performance. What this all basically means is that a tiny small advantage adds up over time. And we see a real statistical phenomenon that you can view across academic performance, Nobel laureates, CEOs, and professional athletes. What does this have to do with a happy birthday? I believe we can use these as proxies. We can use athletic performance as a bit of a proxy for close relationships. Imagine you play on a large team sport. You're going to have more relationships than those who don't. And imagine you're a fucking nerd. You're going to get more fulfilling work. You're going to enjoy your homework a lot more, and you're 4 to 11% more likely to be in a high school leadership position, which has been shown to lead to higher wages and better jobs. So, we now have the problem. Do we choose for athletic excellence at the beginning of the calendar year? Or do we choose academic excellence at the beginning of the school year? I now refer you to 2 more graphs. These are real graphs we have stolen from Wikipedia. The one on the left shows the birth month of student athletes in Europe competing in top-level soccer tournaments. The one on the right shows first-generation Oxford graduates and their birth months. You can see the relative age effect in play here, with more athletes at the beginning of the calendar year and more graduates at the beginning of the academic year. But there is one month where we see statistically more overperformers in both athletics and academics. And that month is January.
Woo!
We got a January fan in the house.
Yeah, the jock.
Now, January sets us up for our other two markers of happiness, charity and self-reflection. Now, admittedly, December has been shown to be the most giving month of all, but since we've ruled out December for obvious reasons, January seems like a good second choice. Self-reflection, January, of course, also the month of New Year's resolutions. Now, you might say that lasts all year, but 43% of people abandon their New Year's resolution by February, which means January is our thin, slim chance to get all 4 metrics of happiness on your birthday. We're now looking for a memorable birthday. Doesn't do you any good to have a good birthday if no one remembers when it is. Some of these dates we've already ruled out, some of them are not memorable at all, but we have 2 options remaining. We've got 111 and 123. And I believe one of these has a slight edge over the other due to being just a little bit farther from those pesky, pesky winter holidays. Yes, I believe the happiest birthday is as easy as 123. Thank you. But let's check our work, shall we? Maybe there's something lurking on January 23rd that we didn't know about. What might be going on here?
Oh, no.
Well, on Norfolk and Pitcairn Island, it's Bounty Day, a day celebrating the mutiny on the Bounty, where they name a family of the year and feast. Cool. It's also National Pie Day and Mailbox Snowplow Hockey Day, in which snowplows are encouraged to hit mailboxes for points. Basically, a day of fun and merriment. In contrast, January 11th is National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Ooh. Who has the happiest birthday?
Cut that out.
No, keep that. The world needs to know. Now, who has the happiest birthday? Well, there's Japanese athlete Giant Baba, perhaps history's biggest Baba. Yes, thank you. Yes, of course. Mariska Hargitay, one of our most famous Mariskas.
Yeah.
That's right. Rutger Hauer, second only to Rutgest Hauest. And of course... Excuse me? I'm not cutting it. And of course, the Principality of Liechtenstein, which I defy you to name a better principality. With that, a couple of caveats. January 23rd does potentially overlap with Lunar New Year. I have ignored that because it's convenient for my argument. And you might also say that, hey, something like May 5th is just as memorable and has better weather, but I am also choosing to ignore that. If you have a big issue with this, I do encourage you to send me complaints, send me counter-arguments. You can send those to grant.o'brien@dropout.com. Now, before I wrap things up, I just want to see, does anyone here have the happiest birthday? Does anyone here have a birthday on January 23rd? Truth be told, I already knew that was the case. We checked your birthdays beforehand. But does anyone have a January birthday? Gabrus, we've got something very special for you.
Shut up!
Yes.
No!
All right.
He already gets the happiest birthday. Why does he get a second prize?
That's what you get for getting the happiest birthday.
Wait a minute, I want it.
Traditionally, the birthday cake doesn't go just to the birthday boy.
No, this is just for you.
Of course we're angry. We don't have good birthdays.
Yeah.
Well, you should have told your parents to fuck on April 23rd.
I did.
I begged.
Please.
That's my presentation.
Oh
Any
my
questions?
God. Now, Trapp, thank you so much for that very enlightening presentation. I really do think weather could be an issue. So let's say there's the big snowstorm of January 23rd on your birthday. How does one maintain having the happiest birthday that day?
Joy exists anywhere.
Oh.
It's not necessarily being outside. It's those close relationships. It's generosity. And you might argue that there's going to be better weather some other time. There's going to be a happier time. But the world is melting. No season has good weather anymore.
Oh, if you have a snowstorm on your birthday, gradually that'll decrease because there's global warming.
Yes, of course.
You have something to look forward to. You could have a really hot birthday in just 10 years.
Within a couple years, yeah. January 23rd is going to be balmy and beautiful.
Wow, a nice summer January 23rd in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, it's going to be a dream. We can't wait to see it.
I cannot wait.
Have you ever considered, yes, 1, 2, 3 sounds good.
Yes.
But what about 1, 3, 1?
Is that your birthday, John?
Indeed it is.
I think 131 is not a bad day, but I think it requires people to try to remember exactly how many days are in January.
I think that's a really huge issue with end of month. People think is April 30th, it's exactly what you said.
When is your birthday?
Oh my God, yes. Let's go.
My birthday is October 16th, which
What day did your parents fuck?
Argue for your birthday.
What is
No
that?
wonder he's
Can I
upset.
interject
you may.
that Trapp's birthday falls on my favorite holiday.
What is that?
National Bosses
Oh,
Day.
yes, of
A
course.
day when all the little employees get to celebrate their big, stupid boss and shower him with praise and attention.
The existence of National Bosses Day is like the closest you can come to when people are like, why isn't there a white history month? It's like, that's National Bosses Day.
If your
Yeah, Demi.
birthday is October 16th,
Yes.
does that mean your parents potentially had sex around the happiest birthday?
That is, yes, that is in fact very possible.
Well,
Trapp, my question is about birthdays.
Yes. Thank you. You're in the right place.
Don't you think I look young for my age?
Well, how old are you, Grant?
I'm 21.
In that case, you look terrible. I mean, like, Crypt Keeper level shit going on over here. Yeah, no.
Trapp, we thank you so much for enlightening us here today, and happy birthday to you.
I thank you, and a happy birthday to all of you.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.